We hear about Elon Musk almost every day. There's always something new going on with that guy. Anyway, have you wondered what it's like working for him? Because that's exactly what we'll be talking about in this video. Besides that, Elon Musk says the risk of his assassination is quite significant. So make sure you watch this video to the end to learn about all of it. First up, people who've worked with Musk says he micromanages. One of the issues, according to an employee who worked in engineering and reports, is that Elon Musk can be a little too autocratic. Musk occasionally micromanages details that are typically not left to someone in Musk's position. There also seems to be problems with work-life balance. The mindset of hustling, as it's known among startups in Silicon Valley, is very strong. The same employee said that other employees weren't trained enough for the tasks that they were performing, so maybe Musk did need to micromanage them. Next up, he's intimidating but easy to talk to. On a podcast, an ex-Tesla territory manager once described his experiences of being hired. They hired him in 2009 after being found on LinkedIn, and one of his interviewers was Elon Musk himself. The ex-employee described Musk as intelligent, knowledgeable, and approachable throughout the process. Before hiring the person, the billionaire also tested him on his knowledge. Well, at least we know one thing: he isn't as stupid as his tweets. Moving on, he takes social media into consideration while deciding. We're all pretty aware of the fact that the Tesla owner is well known for preferring social media to face-to-face interactions. He even answers questions and comments on Twitter often. According to people who've worked with him, Elon often makes his decisions based on the customer responses, which were shared on social media. Before moving on to the next story in the news, he would immediately give attention to any headlines mentioning issues at a Tesla factory and make them a priority ASAP. Coming up, he has high standards for everything. Elon Musk has a reputation for being a perfectionist because of his drive to innovate his services. The people who've worked with the SpaceX genius have often described him as impulsive. So most of the time, the decisions he makes impulsively end up in increased costs, but he gets the job done, so not that big of a problem. Musk's employees have also mentioned how he's more than eager to get people to restart a job when he's dissatisfied. What's more, he doesn't allow enough autonomy. This one was pretty predictable. According to a former senior management employee, Elon Musk is the sole decision maker at Tesla. Senior leadership positions frequently need to adhere to Musk's vision without being given any autonomy. Musk's rules are the only ones that Tesla follows, as opposed to a variety of other suggestions. Coming up, he has mild temper issues. And then we've got something no one could have predicted. Musk is famous for having explosive workplace encounters with staff members and senior executives. By the looks of it, our billionaire has some anger issues. He got into one of his infamous fights with Peter Rawlinson, head of the Model S development team. Apparently, Musk shouted over the worker, towered over him, and poked his chest with a finger. Later, Rawlinson left his position and founded Lucid Motors. Would it be fair to say that was Peter's villain origin story? Because it definitely looks like it. Up next, he had strict guidelines during the lockdown. Isn't this one kinda necessary? In March 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic struck, Musk continued to operate his Tesla plant. He closed the plant in response to the government's constant pressure before reopening it in early May. He also told his employees that if they work from home, they won't get paid. Okay, now this is actually concerning. He also threatened to move the plant from California to Texas when health officials voiced their concerns, which he eventually did. Let's not forget, he keeps a close relationship with his employees. Do you know how they say to keep your work life and private life separate? Yeah, well, Musk paid no heed to that. Elon Musk, quote, befriended an employee despite the advice executives frequently receive to keep their distance. Siobhan Zillis, an executive at Neuralink, and Musk secretly had twins. Maybe it was more than just a friendship. Anyway, she's still in charge of overseeing general operations and special projects at Musk's brain implant business. Let's look at he tends to sleep in the office sometimes. After the infamous Twitter takeover took place, employees, including Director of Project Management Esther Crawford, were spotted sleeping at the Twitter headquarters. And the company's new owner has expressed his support for this pattern because he's also one of them. Musk is known for sleeping at his desk. He was once caught sleeping in his office by an ex-Tesla worker who snapped a photo but later deleted it because he was scared of losing his job. Not to forget, he turns a deaf ear to sensitive complaints. Elon Musk has drawn criticism for releasing several tell-all book publications and for allegedly ignoring racism and sexism at his workplace. According to former employees, an ex-SpaceX engineer claimed several men made inappropriate advances toward her, and one of them touched her. Even though the employee complained repeatedly, he continued to work there, and no one investigated the grave allegation. Also, he is never satisfied with himself. According to a former head of talent acquisition at SpaceX, working with Elon Musk was uncomfortable because the man was never satisfied with his output. She claimed that as a result, he became dissatisfied with those around him. Musk works harder than anyone else and expects others to do the same. Many former employees who have worked with Elon Musk agree that it was an unforgettable experience. Although working with him can be a pain, employees grew tremendously while working with Elon Musk and got to learn a lot. Moving on to the next segment, coming up, Musk says the risk of his assassination is quite significant. Elon Musk stated that there is a quite significant risk of his assassination. The Twitter CEO said he definitely would not be doing any open-air car parades, let me put it that way, during a 2-hour Q&A audio chat on Twitter Spaces. He admitted that there was a considerable risk of something bad happening to him or even being shot. He said that it's not difficult to kill someone if you want to, so he hopes they don't and fate favors his case and it doesn't happen. There's undoubtedly some risk involved. The CEO of Tesla and the richest man in the world, who calls himself an absolutist of free speech, said he just wants a future where people aren't oppressed. He said he wants a space where our speech is not restrained and we can say what we want to say without fear of retaliation. According to the billionaire, you should be able to say whatever you want as long as you aren't actually hurting someone else. Since Musk took control of Twitter last month, this attitude has been evident. He announced he would grant a general amnesty to everyone who had been kicked off but hadn't broken the law or sent spam, and he also restored previously suspended accounts, including former President Donald Trump. Along with ending the COVID-19 misinformation policy, Musk disbanded Twitter's trust and safety teams amid a massive hiring freeze. Let's look into Musk's Twitter Space conversation. A large portion of Musk's conversation on Twitter Spaces, which took place recently, was the Twitter Files, a collection of internal documents made public by journalist Matt Taibbi. Taibbi's thread contained files that showed Joe Biden's team giving instructions to Twitter staff members to remove specific political content. All this happened in October 2020, just a few weeks before he was elected U.S. president. The contents of Mr. Biden's son Hunter's laptop have been the subject of controversy. Screenshots of emails show that Twitter employees purposely suspended, banned, or censored users who commented on the controversy. Musk, who has been harshly critical of the platform's previous management, said if Twitter is doing one team's bidding before an election, shutting down dissenting voices on a pivotal election, that's the same as election interference. He said Twitter was acting like an arm of the Democratic National Committee. It was absurd. Musk said he's given Taibbi as well as journalist Barry Weiss unfettered access to old internal documents, teasing more would be released, dubbing them the Twitter Files Episode 2. He said this isn't a North Korean tour guide. You get to go anywhere you want, whenever you want, however you want. The Neuralink owner continued and said he isn't controlling the narrative, and there have been many instances of information control and suppression, including things that have impacted elections, and that everything needs to be, you simply want the information available. Coming up, is Musk's freedom of speech real? Twitter's new content policy is supportive of free speech and expressing one's opinions, but it will reach its limit. The violent and hateful tweets that caused accounts to be blocked won't be blocked, but they won't simultaneously reach audiences. We would like to know whether he named his son after a mathematical formula to support free speech as well. Musk discussed it on Twitter and said freedom of speech but not freedom of reach while talking about the platform's new policy. He added it would demonetize offensive and hateful tweets, however, you could still find them by searching the user, even though you wouldn't be able to see them on your feed. But is it really freedom of speech when Elon has fired employees for criticizing him, or is everything just a pretense? Not to forget, there were some missteps. Musk admitted during the Twitter Spaces chat that the Twitter Files release had made a few mistakes, including a few instances where he believes some email addresses should have been excluded. Former Twitter Trust and Safety Chief Yoel Roth was one employee mentioned in Taibbi's tweets. He stated on social media that publicly posting the names and identities of frontline staff members engaged in content moderation puts them in danger and is fundamentally unacceptable. Musk said that the idea here is to come clean on everything that has happened to build public trust for the future. That's a wrap for this video. Would you like to work with Elon Musk? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.